Here we are looking at lesson 6.6, problem solving with inequalities. We're going to be using variables and expressions, order of operations, inverse operations. We'll be applying and writing our multi-step equations. And the key thing is we want to be thinking about what the words mean in our situations. So when we write inequalities, these common sentences indicate 4 different types of inequalities. And I want you to think about this one. When we know A is less than B, the phrase less than, but sometimes fewer than is used. We have greater than and more than. These are the ones that I know you talked about earlier this year in chapter 3. Also with Ms. Gridsteimer as we were looking at those. A is less than or equal to B. A is at most or no more than. Now, all of these mean the same thing. We want to use the less or equal with them. Again, this would probably be something if you don't have written down from chapter 3 or you don't remember and you get stuck with is at least. Remember, if you have to be at least 18 to vote, meaning you have to be greater or equal to 18. You cannot be at most 18. You have to be at least 18. Or you can be no less than 18 to vote. So if you need to copy these down on the last page of your notes, please do so. Here's where we start translating. And again, if you keep things right in order, remember when you see that word than is like a fan, and it blows the numbers behind, right? So if we're thinking about than. In this case, it just says 6 times the difference. Now, here's something kind of different that we haven't seen so much. 6 times, we know we're multiplying. The difference of a number and 3, that's telling us put a parenthesis around that. Difference, we know is subtraction, that goes with the and. So we are looking at n minus 3 is more than. Again, is more than is just our inequality. We're not going to have equal signs. 24. If we are going to solve this, the first thing we should be thinking is distributive property. If we use our distributive property, multiplying by 6, we should have 6n minus 18 is greater than 24. We are going to solve by adding 18 to both sides. 6n is greater than, and in this case we should have 42. We divide by our coefficient, which is 6, and n is greater than 7. And if we think of that, 6 times the difference of a number and 7 is more than 24. If I pick any number greater than 7, like 10, 6 times 10 minus 3, 10 minus 3 would be 7. 6 times 7 is 42, that's greater than 24, and it checks. I would like you right now to try and look at writing this one, pause the video, put it in your notes. We're going to do a couple more in your notes towards the end, but pause it right now and write down your solution to this. 3 times a number divided by 4 is no more than 5 plus twice that number. What you should have had is 3 times the number. And in this case, it is divided by 4 is no more than less or equal to 5 plus 2n. Now the key thing here is remembering when you're doing these problems, we want to get rid of our fraction. So we are going to multiply on both sides every single term by 4. If I multiply by 4, I am now going to have 3n because 4 over 1 cancels. Is less or equal to 20 as I multiply plus 8n. Now I'm going to subtract 8n from both sides as I solve this because I want all my variables on one side. When I do that, I'm going to have a negative 5n is less or equal to 20. I'm going to divide by negative 5. And I hope all of you are thinking right now, oh, Mrs. Thompson, don't forget. Flip the inequality, reverse it. We divide it by a negative, and we get negative 4. There's 2 more problems that we're going to do. The season tickets and the owning a business. We're going to look at those story problems, and then you'll have 2 more that I'll have you add right below 1 and 2 because there should be room, or in the side margin. As we look at this one, individual tickets for a college hockey game cost $8 each, plus a one-time transaction fee of $5. But you can buy a season ticket for $99. How many games do you need to attend so that buying the season ticket is a better value? So we want to know, when is buying the season ticket, how many games would you have to attend so that buying the season ticket is a better value than the individual ones? So what we want to be thinking of is that we are looking at 8x plus 5. Why 8x? Because it's $8 per ticket and a one-time fee of 5. And we also know that this cost over here is $99. Now what we have to decide is what inequality. I want you to think about that, and we will look at this in just a minute. And as you're thinking about this problem, what you want to think of is, if 8x plus 5, when is it going to be a better value to attend just buying your own individual tickets? Well, obviously, if you buy one ticket or one game, this one is going to be your better deal. We want to know, how many games is it better deal than buying the season tickets? We're trying to see when this is greater than. As we look at solving this, we are going to subtract 5 from both sides. So our 8x is greater than, in this case, we should be looking at 94. We divide both sides by 8. You may want to pull out your calculator as you're looking at this, so that we need to attend 94 divided by 8 comes out to be 11.75. So can we attend 11 games and have it be a better deal? It's still better to buy the individual tickets. When is it better to buy a better value to buy the individual tickets? So if we're thinking about this, how many games would you want to attend with a season ticket is a better value? The better value for buying season tickets is going to be a better deal if we go to not 11 games, but 12 or more games. So when you're thinking of this, if you go to 12 or more games, that's when your season ticket would be beneficial. Whereas if we only go to 11 games or less, it's better to buy individual tickets. In this next one, we're going to use the internet to sell mouse pads. You pay a wholesaler $6 for each mouse pad. Then you try to sell them for $10 each. But you have to pay $21 per month for a web page hosting. It says, well, how many mouse pads could you sell each month and actually earn a profit? So we want to think of it this way. We're paying $6 for each mouse pad. But when we make our profit, we're looking at 10, charging $10. Well, what do we have to take out of that? We have to take out our $21 a month for our web page. So in a month, we're trying to see, when are we going to make a profit? Remember, this is our profit. So we're looking at this being greater than. 6m is less than 10m minus 21. Again, if I'm solving this, I want to get all my variables on one side. To get the variables on one side, I might subtract 10m from both sides. Now, the only thing now is I have to have this negative coefficient. But remembering that when you divide by a negative number, you're going to switch the inequality. So m has to be greater than, and in this case, it comes out to a positive 5.25. So the question said, remember, how many mouse pads should you sell each month to earn a profit? It's not going to be much of a profit, but if you sell more than, and we can't sell 5, and we can't sell 5.25, 6 mouse pads, we would then have a profit. Now, what I want you to do is in your side margin, or right below question number 1 and 2, I would like you to do this question number 2 and question number 3. 8 times the difference of a number and 2 is at least 30. And this next one, the sum of a number and 5 is more than 5 times the difference of a number, of the number and 4. So thinking about the is more than and is at least, those are our inequalities. Try those, we'll look at them tomorrow. Hope this goes well.